Good afternoon and welcome to Apex Racing TV. Alex Simpson and Conrad Venter here for week number 10 of the iRacing Grad Prix Series. We're at a sunny Silverstone circuit and it's sunny in real life here as well. I'm just a half hour away from the track and it's glorious outside. Just as it is out there. You'd almost think they've matched the weather. They haven't, but it looks good enough. Conrad, Silverstone, pretty much super well-known circuit. Of course, the slightly older pre-2012 layout. Come on, iRacing. How many times have I said that? Let's have the new one. You've got the scan. Let's do it. After Le Mans, surely. That's got to be the next track that we have. But still, a great racetrack. Awesome WCS race yesterday, sorry. And yeah, I think we could be in for a little treat tonight with the Grand Prix series as well. Everybody's full of a bit of action after just watching the Spanish Grand Prix as well.
Yeah, it was certainly a very eventful Spanish Grand Prix, and I think with the 39-degree track temperature around this race that we're just about to cover, we should be in for a good one. Plenty of grip will be available to the drivers, so hopefully overtaking will be plentiful.
Yeah, obviously we've just got a few people out there qualifying at the moment while we're having a look at some aerial shots of the track. Excuse me, just have a quick look at what the track temperature is saying at the moment. So partly cloudy, 20 degrees. Track temperature will be up. Can you actually see what the track temp is saying at the minute, Conrad?
Yeah, it's 39 degrees at the moment, so well below what we see from default weather. And so they should have that extra little bit of grip available to them, the drivers.
40 laps. I think we're going to be somewhere. We're going to be looking, obviously, as usual, as between the no-stop and the one-stop strategy. It is quite a long race, and I tell you, the front left does take a right pounding around this circuit, and I think we will see people try and do it, and as soon as they've gone beyond that halfway point, they're going to be fully committed to that strategy. But if they have any kind of major lock-up or spin moment or anything like that, as we saw in previous weeks, they're better off just bailing into the pits rather than trying to hold it out there, because once you've overheated the tyres once, there's just no getting them back, and track temperature's not quite cold enough that they're going to be able to do that completely as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 40-lap race yesterday in the WCS. We saw a couple of guys trying their hand at 30-lap stints, and yeah, looking at the drop-off in the lap times, one stopper I think is definitely worth the option. And
just take a quick look at the championship standings as they stand out as well. We've got a few drivers still qualifying out there, but this man on screen right now, Slaven Yatsenko, is leading the Class A series, the Grad Prix Series, with 1,599 points. Got 8 wins to his name for the season, 24 starts, 22 top 5s, very consistent season for him, and that's why he's up there at the moment. Massimiliano Ficarra is in second place. Ficarra is on the grid. Yes, he is, 5th place at the moment. Wensin is 3rd, and we've got Fabrizio Gobbi in 4th in the championship, but Diego Oliveira is the man to keep an eye on. He's only got 7 races count on 1,387, so he could jump right in between the likes of Yatsenko or Ficarra, or maybe even straight to the top if he scores well over 200 points today.
Yeah, and just another guy to keep an eye on as well is Zoran Jonic, who's sat in 8th place at the moment, but he's only got 7 weeks counted as well. He's in 1,251, so a really good week from him could propel him up to sort of the top 5 as well, or at least get him knocking on the door for it.
Yeah, a nice 250-point week or something like that is going to be right in the mix as well. And then it's just a case of seeing how it pans out for the final 2 weeks of this season as well. So, yeah, going to be interesting. Still a few drivers. Diego Oliveira, 4th place at the moment. But just take us through the qualifying order, as qualifying is done and dusted.
Right, we've got Riley Preston taking pole position with a 1 minute 21.3, and then we've got last week's pole sitter, Marin Kolak, in 2nd place. 3rd place is Slavia Yatsenko with Diego Oliveira on 4th. 5th place is Massimiliano Fugara. 6th place is Fabrizio Gobbi. Then we've got Manuel Domingo in 7th place, Justin Hop in 8th, Nicholas Rasmussen in 9th place, with Jorge Martinez in 10th, Franz Kern in 11th, Andre Eisenlohr in 12th place, Krill Merkelitz in 13th, Mark Warmington, another return to the top list for him this week, in 14th place. And then we've got a newcomer I haven't seen in the race we cover on the Sunday before. It's Mahil Lachinov in 15th, and Daniel Vensing. Surprise, surprise, they didn't say the lap time. So interesting to see if he had any problems and how he's going to go and get on this race.
Yeah, interesting grid indeed. Riley Preston obviously had a bit of a doozy at the start. Sorry, you won't mind me saying so. At the start of the Grand Prix as well, and got collected in there, but recovered fairly reasonably well. I think he ran out of fuel on the last lap too, so he's got his teammates out there as well. So Maron Kolak, we'll see how those guys do. Both very quick in yesterday's race. Diego Oliveira also had a fairly solid race too. Going to make it difficult for some of the guys who need to score big points with 3 WCS drivers in there trying to fight for this win, but we'll see if they can get amongst them. Here we go then. Round number 10 of the iRacing Grand Prix Series is away. People starting on the corner. Managed to get a good start. Oliveira having a look already, maybe moving up a couple of places. Doesn't quite manage to make it work. Preston runs a little bit wide, and for some unknown reason I haven't got Riley's paint. Let me refresh. I'll look a bit weird for a moment, but needs to be done.
Preston really slow off the line there and getting jumped by both Oliveira and Kolak. And then just for good measure running wide. He's going to get another look as they come at the end of High Hanger Straight now. It's just back a little bit too far. It was all a very civilized start. Can't see any incidents. Looking a little bit further back. Got Warmington running in 15th just in front of him. We've got Daniel Bensing having a look on Merkelitz. They're still going to be side by side as they approach the bridge. Bensing should have this covered. Merkelitz giving him space, and Bensing moving up into 13th place.
Yeah, he needs to make up ground as quickly as he possibly can. Going to be super important for him to get towards the front. He doesn't need to let this race go missing. Of course, with the Grand Prix, it's not been as many races go official as usual. Oh, Preston running a little bit wide through turn 1. Dirty Air just catching him out a little bit there, and it is pretty extreme through Copse Corner. And you feel it all through Beckett's Maggots Chapel as well. The car just pushing in that dirty air, heavy fuel. Just takes a little while to get used to that. Kolak is away at the moment, trying to stretch out that 1 second advantage by lap 3. Everything he can do to keep Oliveira out of that DRS.
Yeah, like I said, it was a very civilized start by everybody. Nobody, I didn't see any paint straightening anyway, or any body parts going awry. So it's not often that we're this lucky to have undamaged cars just 2 laps into the race.
Yeah, very impressed actually. So compared to what we saw on Saturday, stark contrast. Frankly, there was cars everywhere. Personally, I know I was dodging them left, right and centre on that first lap, so yeah, maybe those guys should take a leaf out of everyone's book here.
Well, I tell you what, some of the real life drivers today can take a leaf out of these guys' book as well.
Yeah, they certainly can. That first lap, well, that was interesting. Sorry for the spoilers, everyone, if you don't want to hear what happened. Well, what you doing watching a Grand Prix Series race? But yeah, totally craziness. That was iRacing bottom split-esque, wasn't it, right at the start of that race?
So yeah, we've just seen Justin Hobb dropping right to the back of the field. He lost the back end right as he came out of the last corner. Didn't collect anybody, didn't make contact with any barriers, just spun it around, corrected himself, and he's on his way again. His tyres are going to be a little bit of cheese worthy for the next few laps.
Winston on Ferenz Kern around the outside. He's going to have to go through Club. Oh, tricky corner as well. Car always wants to step away if you're not careful. Kern trying to fight back into Abbey. Can't make it stick, so yeah, Winston up and into 11th place. A couple of little gaps formed up. Rasmussen and has dropped back from Domingo there as well. So yeah, so there's a few little gaps forming, but like you say, everybody's still running, which is great.
Yeah, it looks like they're just forming up a few little groups, running in 2s and 3s at the moment. Vincing has already had a really good start. He's up 5 places from where he started, up into 11th place, and he's certainly got the pace to make up more ground on the guys in front of him.
I think Daniel's biggest problem is going to be, even if he was the quickest man out there today, he's the separation he's had just after these 3 laps has already pushed him 9.5 seconds back, so he's not even finished making his way through the field yet. So yeah, it's going to be a tall order for him to score big today, I think. Oliveira closing in a little bit on Maron just ahead, so gap is down to half a second. You can see all the top 3 drivers just going through Abbey chicane right now. Pulled out 1.7 to Yatsenko behind. Slava will be pretty happy with this because I think as long as he's got as long as Oliveira's got some competition to keep him busy, it's not going to affect Yatsenko too much. It's going to watch it unfold. Bicaro is behind him, another one of his championship contenders, so that's important. Fabrizio Gobbi just tucked up behind him too. So, just going to be interesting to see how they go with tyres here.
Yeah, I think a guy like Yatsenko has really got an opportunity here today. We saw him the last couple of weeks not qualifying very well in these strength field races, and he's actually managed to get himself up into the top half of the grid early on today. So. Chance for him to make life a little bit easier for himself and score some good points.
Winston closing on the back of Eisenall there. I think this should be a move done. Both do have DRS, but maybe a move down into Stowe. No, just can't quite do it. So stuck in the DRS train, very difficult, and makes a move, late move into Vale. Hits the apex perfectly, shuts the door for Club as well. That's up into the top 10. It's got 2 drivers just ahead. That's Jorge Martinez and Nicholas Rasmussen. These guys having a good little battle as well. They've dropped 3.5 seconds down now from number 8 car of Manuel.
I'm amazed to see how comfortable they or how easy some of these guys make it look going around this track. I was just looking at them coming through Club Corner, and it's a trickier corner to take than you think. You think it's just put flat down and turn the steering wheel, but the back end does tend to get a little bit light coming out of it. And I've seen guys in the Formula Renault losing it around there.
Preston's got himself past Oliveira, so I missed where that was. But yeah, Riley up behind his teammate now. Let's just see if these guys will battle pretty hard. We've already seen what will happen when teammates can go at it.
Oh, well, I suppose as long as you leave enough space for both cars to go down a straight or through a corner, then there shouldn't be a problem.
Sounds simple, doesn't it?
It's very simple indeed. I mean, then again, sometimes you just you need the guy behind just to use a bit of common sense and maybe use the right foot not so firmly planted.
Got problems for Manuel Domingo there. He's just dropped down to 15th place. Joins just in between Hope. Just seeing the aftermath of that. Where was that? That was... he must have spun just coming out. Oh, and then he loses it again. He forgets that those tyres need a little while to bed back down.
Yeah, that spin of his looking a lot like something that Will Power did in the IndyCar series last night, and then he just made a whole hash of that going through club.
Went in past Martinez now, closing in on Rasmussen. Can see him using the DRS, going to go around the outside of Stowe corner. We're not going to see it because the camera's not going to switch in time. But he does clear him off nicely. That's up to 7th place for him. Ficarra must have made a little mistake on that lap as well. 1:24.5, a second slower. Fabrizio Gobbi moves ahead and up and into 5th place. Tucked up pretty closely behind Yatsenko. And yeah, these guys are slowly dropping back from those front three.
I'd be interested to see what kind of lap times Venter can put in once he isn't clear air like he is now. His fastest lap of the race so far is 1:24.6, and you compare that to Riley Preston, who's done a 1:23.8 earlier on. That's a whole 0.8 of a second. I think Venter should have a lot more in the tank. Just across the line. 1:24.4. So yeah, he had to clear that one car on that lap, but already going quicker.
Yeah, he's definitely one to keep an eye out on, I think. Be interesting to see what he comes up with sort of through season 3, and then of course towards the new Pro Series in season 4.
And Eisenlaw through on Martinez as well. Martinez just running a bit wide in turn 1, and then Eisenlaw getting the run into Maggots and Beckett's and making that mistake.
Yeah, they continue to fight. Got Friends Kern tucked up behind them, and Merkulex is there as well. Battle starting to heat up.
Interesting. They are both going at it, and while they are doing that, there is pulling these guys behind them towards them. That's a 1, 2, 3. That's nearly a 7-car train that's forming up. And I suppose, this is the problem that you've got. I'm not exactly sure where the DRS detection is for Hanger Straight, but you overtake someone after turn 1, and then you're going to be a bit vulnerable going down
exactly.
Hanger again.
It's halfway through Beckett's and Maggots, so you're going through that complex. So yeah, it's an interesting place. It's not really. You don't really get affected by the dirty air at that point, and as you can tell, got a bit of a dodgy throat.
Was all the screaming at the TV. Justin hops through on Domingo as well. And Justin trying to recover. He's from 16th back up into 14th place.
Preston's getting closer to his teammate as well, so I think at some point soon Maron's going to have start watching his mirrors.
And we've got Gobbi right behind Yatsenko as well. There's about half a second splitting them as they come across the start-finish line.
Yeah, let's keep an eye, see which battle we're going to need to follow. Is anyone going to Riley just 0.2 of a second behind his teammates through Beckett's Maggots. As long as he gets a good exit here out of Chapel, he might have that opportunity with the DRS. 0.3 of a second. Let's have a look, see what the overspeed is saying. Just, it's not a great deal. It was only about, I think it was about 8 or 9 miles an hour. It's not that much. Doesn't make it happen this time.
Yeah, we could have had Kolak there defending with a bit of ERS. You'd know better than most of us how much of an advantage pressing that button has down a straight like Hanger Straight, and in comparison to just using your DRS.
Yep, it's pretty huge, I have to say. It's still the #1 sort of tool for speed is working that ERS the best you can. All of a sudden, Oliveira closes on the back of Preston as well, so sort of why Preston dropped back.
Oh, it could just simply be again. You'll know from yesterday's race. Is it possible just to give yourself a better run through Maggots and Beckett's, being a little bit further back, just to minimize the air disturbance you get from the guy in front, to give yourself a better chance onto the RS zone?
Not really. I mean, what you want to do is you want to get as close as you possibly can through the slow speed stuff, so that when you do go into Beckett's and Maggots, you're expecting to lose a tenth or 2 tenths through there, but you still exit sort of within that half a second window, give yourself an opportunity to make a move. Oh, just a little slowdown there for Maran, just letting his teammate go. Bit of a orchestrated move, I dare say. Come on, guys, we don't want to see this. This isn't the World Championship where you got to worry about that. This is a Class A Series race.
Oh, where's I'm not seeing any Schumacher or Vettel liveries out there.
I know, what is this about? Come on.
Well, that's most certainly a very weird one. And,
yeah, that's an anticlimax. Right, sorry guys, I'm not focusing on you at all for the rest of the race now. Come on, Diego.
We saw pause exactly like that in yesterday's WCS race on the very last lap, but I'm afraid to say it's way too early for any of these guys to be running out of fuel.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Got to be close to Yatsenko, trying to get a run. He can't quite do it. Bakara falling back as well. Hasn't quite got the pace. Up the inside goes Gobby, gets that done. A long old race though, and anything can happen, and we could have drivers out there just trying to work their tyres. Vicara 2.4 seconds behind these, and he could be going for that 40 lap stint and knows that he just needs to go uber conservative and make sure he doesn't overheat anything.
Interestingly enough, as we saw Riley Preston doing the fastest lap of the race on that last one, we saw another guy that's this last lap was a little bit slow with 24.3, but catching up to the guys behind him again is Mr. Venter, and definitely worth keeping an eye on him. He's slowly but surely been catching up to Ficara. And it's only, I think he's brought that gap down from about 6 seconds. It's now just over 4.
Yeah, and he looks quick enough out there to sort of run with the leaders. 24.2 again. The leaders, apart from Preston, who was 23.8, 24.1 for Kolak, 24.3 for Diego. So yeah, very, very consistent from those guys.
Wow, I'm just trying to think why we would have seen that that move between Preston and Kolak 2 laps ago. Any ideas? Any theories?
None. But none. So.
It's not like any two of them is in with a shout for the championship.
They're not racing for a championship or anything out there. They're out there for personal pride, so I have no idea what they're doing. Yeah. Just boo. totally disappointed. I mean, Riley's obviously quicker than Maran. You can see that because of the lap times that he's pumping in, and starting to pull away a little bit now. But still,
You know what? We might have to eat our words afterwards. At the moment, it's looking like Preston. Oh, there's Kolak's already outside the DRS zone. It looks like Preston is pulling along Kolak, but he's really not. He's just what he's done is he's passed Kolak. He's going to drop him. He's going to drop him straight into the clutches of Oliveira.
turn my attention to Martinez and Eisenhower here. These guys have been having a good little race so far. The first 14 laps of this one. You've got Justin Hopp on his teammate as well.
Every time you mention teammates, I'm gonna have an eagle's eye on that, just to watch them into if they're anywhere in the vicinity close to each other. You're just gonna watch them into the next braking zone. As Friends Kern has a look at Eisenlaw. Oh, Justin Hobb nearly running into the back of Friends Kern there.
Always the problem, the fear that must have gone through Justin there with seeing that. He's like, no, please don't hit my teammate. Unless you're Lewis, of course. And then you're just like, yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen a steering wheel fly so far out of a car.
But, who's that? Domingo into the pits after lap 15, so certainly going to be some trying a one-stop. And I think that's the time really where you want to pit around 15, do a 25 lap final stint. So the pit window is firmly open.
This gives us the opportunity as well to see how much time they're losing in the pit stop phase.
Yeah, he's back out and underway. About 25 seconds looking at that.
So he's obviously pulled the trigger first, and after 15 odd laps of the race, what's the latest you can leave it before you get to that point where you just can't commit to a one stop anymore?
I think anything beyond 50% doesn't make any sense because you would have already been undercut by everybody behind. But yeah, if not many people have pitted, then that's probably still a viable option. I know you can really sort of really dial in for these tyres just to give you sort of a good 15 lap stint where pressures might be a bit lower than what they need to be, but you get a little bit of extra grip out of them for a short period. And so drivers could probably do that and maybe go for like say 25 as the latest, but I would think those 10 laps that you've been out there while other people have been on fresh tyres is going to have hurt you too much.
I just see Justin Hopp and Mark Warmington into the pits as well. Hopp is going to be on his way out yet again. He's leaving the pits right now. It's going to be tight between him and Domingo coming out of the pits. Hopp manages to keep hold of that position. Right, at least now we've had a couple of guys making the pit stop, so we'll get a better idea of just what kind of time gain there is with the fresh tyres this early on.
Yeah, Justin would be a good one to keep an eye on because he's been pretty quick, even though he had that little spin. 24.4 was his fastest lap before he pitted, so we'll keep an eye on that, see how that improves. It does take a couple of laps for the tyres to bed in. We're just watching Diego, still just a half a second behind Maran, not able to move forward. Maran still losing time on his teammate.
Another battle that might be coming up soon is Jakara and Bensing. Bensing has managed to close that gap up. Sorry.
We might have lost him. Can't see Wenson, he's just disappeared. He's dropping down the timing screen right now. Connection issue, is he going to bounce back all of a sudden? Doesn't look like he is, it looks like a disconnect.
Oh, it's just going from bad to worse.
Did a few of these this season already, so this is another one. So poor Daniel Wenson disappears off the racetrack. I'm looking at Ferenc Kern, who's closed up on Eisenhower again. These guys still going at it. Half a second back.
Yeah, and as you rightly said, we've lost Daniel Vensing, and there goes our man for the iRacing Grand Prix driver watch. He's well, he might still come back into the race, but he's truly out of the fight for decent points today.
In my honest opinion, is everybody who has pitted now is probably, that's it. Everybody else is going to try and no stop it.
Yeah, Domingos has done his first flying lap on the new tyres. Hasn't really gone any quicker. I suppose it might take a lap or two to get the tyres into the right spot. To
Same with Justin as well. No real quicker. Yeah, 24.5 for Justin too.
I mean, just how, especially around a track like Silverstone, just because the track temperature is a little bit cooler than we would normally see. Last week around Interlagos was especially cold, but I mean, what kind of effect does it have on the wear rate of the tires?
Yeah, it's quite huge, to be honest. Most of the traction that we lose is heat related, and so when the tires are cool, we don't wear them out anywhere near as much as what we would do on a hot surface. So for every few degrees, you're definitely going to get a substantial amount of extra life out of the tyre. So 45 degree track temperature as opposed to sort of like a 38, might be another 4 or 5 laps fairly comfortable without any sort of noticeable drop off. Down into the 20s, and you're looking at close to almost 10 laps extra.
Right, well, 22 laps left. We've got Ferenc Kern, and that's us off into the pits as well. And they're going to be passed by Justin and Domingos. Obviously,
long way clear. Yeah, I was surprised. I really would have thought that these guys would have been earlier. I mean, yes, they'll have fresher tyres now and should be able to fight back, but not going to be a lot.
Am I right that Justin was behind Ferenc Kern?
He was, yeah.
Yeah, it is, and he's cleared him there by quite a lot. And especially after it looked like the likes of Justin Hobb wasn't gaining that much on the fresher tyres.
Everybody is all of a sudden separated. Marin 1.5 seconds from Oliveira. Not a good lap from Oliveira, that last one by. Drops out of the DRS zone. That might be quite important.
Yeah, we've got
Ficarra in as well. Decides he's not going to make it on one stop, so just does a 50-50.
Rasmussen is in. Eisenlohr is in. There's quite a few guys like Marquinez, Merkulets. Their lap times have all of a sudden dropped to 1 minute 25s. Not sure if they were involved in any battles, but yeah, quite a few guys coming up to halfway, all of a sudden diving into the pits.
Justin runs wide through turn 1, rejoins. Will he get Rasmussen? He does. So back up to 9th place after his earlier spin, that early pit stop. Perhaps a good call from here. Just here in Daniel Winston's problem was a power cut, unfortunately. So yeah, that's going to do it.
Oh, somebody's energy supply is going to get a really angry later tomorrow.
Now I've seen Fabrizio Gobbi run some really long stints. I think he's definitely committed to a no stop. I'm surprised that these guys have come in a little bit later. I also think the front guys will be able to do a no stop too. We were running in WCS, I think, sort of 35 laps pretty comfortably. So an extra 5 shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, you just look at Kirill Merkulets and Ficara. They're running 7th and 8th respectively. Well, Ficara's made the pit stop, and he's 40 seconds behind the leader. There's no way he's going to bring himself back into that with 20 laps left. He'd have to gain like 2 seconds a lap from here on in. But he's very close behind Merkulets, actually.
Yeah, we'll see what sort of lap times he does next time by, and we'll get a bit of a DRS boost here if he does get by Merkulets. As he's going for it, sizes up that move into Stowe. Pretty straightforward. I was actually quite surprised yesterday how effective the DRS was down there. At some tracks it's been just useless, but it was quite effective. I was able to pull off a fair few moves. It's the same situation if somebody's in a DRS train. Yeah, there's not much you can do, but if they're not, then actually it is quite easy to get past. So yeah, a bit of a change, because Silverstone pretty much was the hardest track to overtake on in seasons gone past, and we used to fuel up the car really heavy and things like that. So it's not the case now. With everybody would be on the same fuel.
Justin Hopp is obviously falling, just getting into a bit of a rhythm. Said his he must have had an off drag, was his fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:24.0. Ficara doing a 1:23.7 in front of him.
Yeah, Ficara is lapping quicker than the leaders now, but not by a great deal. Half a second quicker than Kolak and Oliveira, and 0.3 quicker than Riley.
Ficara's got Martinez in front of him, just over 3 seconds that gap. Martinez hasn't been into the pits, so I expect, looking at the difference in lap times, Martinez did a 25.2 on last lap compared to Ficara's 23.7. It's another 2 laps. He's going to be right onto the back of him as well.
Whether Ficara is going to actually catch up to the likes of Yatsenko. He was 4 seconds behind Yatsenko when he pitted, so we'll have to see if this is the right call or not with the tyres. As always, it's not going to be until the last sort of 6-7 laps of the race where we're going to really know. That's when the tyre drop off becomes quite extreme, and we'll see people, another sort of second lap slower to what they are, and the gaps and closure rates are going to be sort of in excess of 1.5 seconds. So it's going to be a bit of a long game for Ficara to see if he's going to make any more places, or whether he's just was happy to consolidate where he was.
Yeah, he's just done another 23.7, and Martinez on a 25.4. Again, big difference in lap times there. But you're right. It always takes a little while for the story to play itself out, and we see the real difference in the lap times between the older and newer tires as the race goes on. But like I say, Ficara is going to have a real job on his hands to close up to the back of the likes of Slavia Yatsenko. Like I said, he was only 4 seconds behind when he pitted. Every week we see someone get well past the halfway point, and then someone starts to struggle terribly on their tires, and then they decide to make a late pit stop. Always interesting to watch them bump in the quick lap times as the race comes to a close. I'm just wondering which of these guys that we're looking at that hasn't made a pit stop is going to be the one to make that late pit stop. Because there will be one. I'm willing to put money on it.
Yeah, someone will cook their tyres. I tell you what, I want to bring a little bit of focus towards Fabrizio Gobbi. 7.2 seconds behind the leader. We're way over halfway through. And excuse me, for a driver who I guess he's probably got some aspirations to get into the Pro Series and whatnot. I think he's doing a pretty good job out there. I mean, Riley's no slouch. Riley's had some, I can't remember if it's a top 5, but certainly had some top 10 finishes in the World Championship this season. He was very quick yesterday. Like I say, he had his problems. But, doing they're very competitive in that series. And to only be 7.2 seconds back actually says, that you're going to be able to run in that pack quite comfortably. So, yeah, another driver to watch out for. And same sort of kudos also needs to be given to like Yatsenko, for example, in 5th place right now. Vicara just not quite got the pace of them here today, but has been running with them all season.
Yeah, and he's about to make up a place. Preston's in the pits.
Yep.
There's our late pitter.
Yeah. He's got the time to not worry about having anyone undercut him, has he? So, yeah, he'll be through.
I tell you what, we are seeing some very strange things happening in this race, just as we did in the race around Spain or Catalonia and the real life Formula 1 today. Oh, that's the last thing I would have expected for a leader to pit, and he's back into 5th place now, and if he's got any aspirations of winning now, he's got a job on his hands to catch the likes of Oliveira and Kolak again.
I think he's got a job on his hands to catch up with the likes of Yatsenko and Gobby. Just Oliveira, was doing a good job. He's a good consistent pace as well, and Oliveira's worked on his long run pace because he's obviously did yesterday's World Championship, so where we have to do 60 laps instead of just the 40. So I think he's counting that they're going to come in. It's going to be tough.
Well, I was going to say that should be pit stops done now, but yeah, I'm not willing to put any money on that statement. Alright, coming back to we were discussing Gobby just before Preston came in for his pit stop, and I suppose this is the big advantage of a guy like that running with some WCS drivers in these strength of field races. Every now and again, gives you a good opportunity to measure yourself against the guys that are running in that top championship, and just maybe instill a bit of confidence that you can make it to that level, and then once you get there, you've got the ability to run there.
Yeah, and I think for drivers coming up, they definitely want to see a few more sort of pro drivers jump in these races if they would. I know I'm as bad as all of them, I think, to be honest, where it's we're practicing for that one race kind of thing, and I'd love to do this one, but I'm here streaming.
Well, I'm sure we can always sort something out, get you into a bit of iRacing Grad Prix Series races on a Sunday.
Ah, so then done. Who's taken over? Just have a little look further back. I tell you what, these two have been having this battle all race long. That's Andre and Ferenc. Can't seem to move forward at all. They're closing in on Nicholas ahead of them, but yeah, these guys just pretty much stalled out around each other. Both pitted, very similar times in the pits, as they were.
Yeah, we've got a relatively small field today, so only 16 cars, and they have spread out quite a bit. This is probably the closest battle we've got on track at the moment.
Right, ignore the lap time that come up there because that wasn't right, but a 23.11 for Riley Preston that time by. New fastest lap of the race, closes in on 1.1 second on Yatsenko, so he's 13.5 seconds behind. At that pace, he'd catch him on the last lap.
Oh, and we've got Eisenlaw. Eisenlaw just having a little bit of a moment, coming out of the final turn.
Releases Kern.
Yeah, just lost the back end a little bit, and he managed to catch it pretty early on. Almost looked like a late dive into the pits until I saw the smoke coming off the tyres. Well, that leaves Ferenc Kern to concentrate on Nicholas Rasmussen. So just having a look at when they both pitted. Rasmussen's does actually a lap lap younger than Kearns, but that shouldn't make a huge difference in their respective lap times.
No, I think you're right. It shouldn't make any real difference at all. The fastest lap, 22.9 for Preston. Again, once again, ignore that timing screen there. That is that was 1.4 seconds quicker than Yatsenko. So that's yeah, that's more like it if he wants to close that down and give himself a couple of laps to actually get a move done. I say he's got no chance of winning this. They're way too far back and not enough time to react.
Yeah, he's certainly got a chance. Only 7.5 seconds behind Yatsenko, and how far is that behind? No, sorry, 12 seconds behind Yatsenko, and 13.5 seconds behind Gobi. He's got a chance of catching them. I doubt he'll catch even Oliveira. He's still got to make his way past the likes of Yatsenko and Gobi.
Yatsenko's closing back in on Gobi as well. Last time by it was 0.3 of a second, so Gobi's tyres just dropping off a little bit. Like I said, 30-35 laps seem to have been like a reasonable position on the tyres. After that, you are pushing them a little bit. They might get the odd call from the spotter to head into the pits because of the tyre, so that's usually when the one element of the tyre, whether it be the middle centre or outer edge, goes under 30% tread left. Just if you didn't know what that call was, that's it. And yeah, you'll get multiple of those for every little part of the tyre that drops below that 30% as well. So typically once you've had about 3, you know you're in a bit of trouble.
So we might not have been too impressed with that move between Kolak and Preston earlier on in the race, but Preston making this late pit stop has certainly given us something to look at for the remaining 11.5 laps. As he's flying, that's the 3 fastest laps in a row. I think last lap was a 1:22.845, so he's flying out there right now. And the gap to Yatsenko has come down to 10.5 seconds, and there's a bit of a Constantino effect going on as Yatsenko is closing up to Gobi as well.
Yeah, I do want to see Yatsenko close in, see if we can have a little battle there. Also Oliveira as well, be good if he can start to fight back towards Kolak. Close, but just not quite able to hold on.
Oh yeah, how difficult is it to follow someone around here? 2 seconds back, I don't think it's enough really to
There'll be no dirt
to unsettle the car.
Yeah, but, no problem whatsoever at this point. Once you get to about 1.3, you don't feel anything. And to be honest, this car it doesn't give you quite the same level of dirty air as what we had in the old one. It's still there, it's still noticeable. But frankly, I was quite surprised. I was pleasantly surprised yesterday how close I was able to follow people through Beckett's Magotson Chapel. I really wasn't suffering at all with the dirty air. So very, very minor compared to what we've seen at other tracks.
Well, just we'll keep an eye on the times that Kolak is doing as well. He's not too fine behind some back markers, Mark Wilmington and Lachov. They are running close to each other, and once Kolak gets there, he's going to have to make his way past them. That might just give Oliveira the chance just to close up that little bit that he needs in order to get into the slipstream of Kolak.
Yeah, Yatsenko just a tiny little bit slower that last time by than Gobi, so these guys literally are racing each other on the clock at the moment as well. So close, but yet so far. Just dip under that, 0.4. If you can just get under that and get a DRS for a couple of laps, you'd think he'll be right back on his tail. 9 laps to go.
Well, I think we're in for a exciting last 2 or 3 laps of the race of Yatsenko and Gobi. If they can just close up to each other a little bit, then well, Preston's most certainly going to catch them in the not too distant future.
Yeah, that gap is 7.8 seconds. You can see him coming rapidly on 22.9, so 1.4 seconds again. 7.7 seconds. So yeah, it's not going to take long. 5 laps or so, and you'll be there.
Yeah, it's almost. I was watching a V8 supercar race yesterday, and the name of the track escapes me right now, but it's roughly about the length of Lime Rock, and 50-lap race. And
Oran Park?
Craig, no, Oran Park doesn't exist anymore, does it?
Oh, a real one. Okay, my bad. Yeah,
real one. And one of the guys on a 50-lap race decided to two-stop the race, and he came out on fresh tires, and he was absolutely flying, and he managed to win the race by 5 or 6 seconds in the end. But it was amazing to watch, to see the difference that the fresh tires made on cars like that, and I suspect that's something like what Riley Preston's feeling at the moment. That a quick lap, that last one around was a 122.8.
Yeah, I think Riley would have had the pace to have got back up towards the front had he pitted in on lap 15. And really used those fresh tyres when he needed them. That 25, 15, definitely not the right call on the strategy.
Yeah, somebody should have told him it's after lap 15, not 15 to go. that you should come in, but it's difficult. Galax ended 24.3, so he's not lapping much faster than anybody behind him right now.
He's not really dropped off actually as well. They were sort of doing high 23s to sort of mid to low 24s at the start of this race as well. So they seem to be roughly about the same sort of place.
And all of a sudden, the top 4, everybody is just, the lap times weren't terrible, but they weren't as great as they've been in previous laps. Quickest out of the top 4 was Kolak with a 24.6, and both Oliveira and Gobby doing a 24.8. Preston behind them, 23 flat.
Yeah, well, this is where it's going to start to get a bit interesting, because this is where those tyres will start to drop off. We're 32 laps in now. Like I say, 35 seems to be about the furthest that personally we wanted to push the tyres if we we could, and yeah. Those extra 5 laps, I tell you, are going to be interesting. If it's 25 degrees out there, it'd be no problem whatsoever. But the fact that track temperature is sort of high 30s, it's going to be interesting.
Are we just going to be made to eat our words here if Preston wins this race? And we were slagging them for letting each other through earlier on.
It's possible. But, an overtake going on right now. Ferenc Kern around the outside of Stowe. That's Rasmussen. Rasmussen goes in a little bit deep. Ferenc tries to cut back, just doesn't quite get on the power. Has to think about a look into Vale. Doesn't happen this time.
Yeah, coming through Club Corner. This is... you were mentioning the last 5 laps on these tyres. It's certainly a corner that I'm going to keep my eye on. As I said earlier, it's easy just to lose the back end a little bit coming around there. So there's definitely going to be a challenge for them on tyres that are absolutely knackered.
Yeah, once again he's closed in nearly 2 seconds that lap. So this is where those tyres really start to kick in. 11 seconds. It's the gap to the leader. Yeah, might be doable. You're right. We might have to eat our words.
It's all going to depend on how quickly he can make his way through the traffic. We saw, I think it was a Daniel Venting around Road America. That was flying as well. He got the opportunity to fight for the lead so late on, just because he struggled to make his way through the traffic, not as quick as he wanted to.
Markowitz and Justin Hope side by side. That's
I think Kern is past Rasmussen as well, unless that battle is still going on.
He is indeed through. Managed to get it done this time going into Stowe. Yeah, so Riley with a 22.7 last time, 22.6 for our race leader, so 1.9 seconds. Riley right on the tail of Yatsenko now. I think we did say that he would catch him with about 5 to go, did we? Initially we were saying with about 1 or 2 to go.
Yeah, I think the prediction was last lap, and then with the drop-off that we've seen, well, it's not really the drop-off and the people in front of Riley Preston. It's just another fastest lap of the race, that last one round with 22.7. I mean, he's going quicker. He's not. There's no wear on those tires. He's not slowing down. He's just going quicker and quicker each lap.
Fuel is coming out and just pushing like crazy at the minute, so very, very comfortable. Yatsenko 1.2 seconds behind Fabrizio Gobbi as well. I tell you, it could be this could be a whole lot harder of an overtake if Yatsenko gets a little bit of DRS. I don't think he's going to though. He's just outside the detection zone.
Yeah, you can already see that little bit that he's been stuck behind Yatsenko. It's already cost him 4/10 of a second in comparison to his fastest lap. 23.1 for Preston that last time round.
He's just able to lean on those new tyres through the Beckett's Maggots Chapel complex. Tucked up on the DRS. Yatsenko will try and defend, but at the end of that straight, there's very little you can do.
Just having a quick look at the timesheets of the qualifying sheets here, and 22.7 would have put Preston 9th on the grid. He's almost running quali pace out there at the moment. Fabrizio Gobbi's last lap was 1 minute 25.0. I don't think Preston is going to wait for Hanger Straight before he makes this pass. We might well see it going into turn 1.
Yeah, he'll need to get by as quickly as possible. He can't afford that, like you say.
Well, you can see that wheel. He gets on the power nice and early. It's going to have enough. Oh, wow. Well, I suspect that is the problem that you're going to have, being on much fresher tyres than anybody else, is not realising how much slower some of the other guys are through the corners than you.
Give me for the harsh appraisal, but that's the problem you get when you're just a little bit impatient. He wasn't going to get by there. He needed just to be a bit more patient. Just wait until Beckett's Maggots Chapel and just get that done. It was a straightforward, overtake. With the fresh tyres there, and now he's got to get back by Yatsenko. Yatsenko's got DRS of Gobbi ahead, so it is going to be a harder overtake this time. He will have that extra traction. You can see that coming out of Club now, but they're side by side. They're going to be, and Yatsenko just concedes actually. So no, not trickier at all. But it should be in theory. So, but that's going to cost him his opportunity to get past Diego. Got absolutely no chance of getting up to his teammate now as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's just wasted an entire lap trying to get past Gobbi there. And the gap to Oliveira from Preston is just under 5 seconds with 3 laps remaining. Is he going to make it stick through turn 1 this time around? Yes, he does. And Gobbi giving him a lot of space, too much actually. Gobbi running wide.
Gobbi's going to come under pressure from Yatsenko. This is surely Yatsenko's best opportunity for a run. A little bit of dirt on Gobbi's tyres. He's out. Oh, he's just inside the DRS as well. So that's going to save him, I think. As indeed. Right, 4.8 seconds then for Riley Preston to catch up on Diego Oliveira. 3 laps to do it. He's going to get there on the last lap, I think. Looking at the lap times that he was doing, it was nearly 2 seconds a lap faster. So,
yeah, I think Kolak is just that lap that Preston just lost behind Gobbi is going to be the one that's going to cost him really to fight for the win. And you can't. Once they cross the line here, they're going to have 2 laps left, and there's no way where Preston is just going to drive past the likes of Oliveira without Oliveira putting up a fight and getting a little bit punchy.
Nothing else going on further back apart from what we can see there with Yatsenko and Gobby. This now obviously is Gobby's probably most vulnerable time. He's got no DRS ahead of him. Yatsenko 0.6 of a second going across the start-finish line. Needs a really good Beckett's Maggots Chapel complex. Not easy in the dirty air with 38 lap old tyres. And he's still 0.6 back. You need to be about 0.4 behind coming out of Chapel to get a move done. So he'll close up a little bit down the straight, but not a great deal.
Yeah, it's something that we saw something similar in the real life race today, where cars, if they were just 6 or 7 tenths back coming into the main straight around Barcelona, they just wasn't enough to get alongside the car in front. They ideally about 4 or 5 tenths of a second, and they could make that move stick down into turn 1. Just quickly, the gap from Preston to Oliveira is now down to 1.4 seconds. The difference in lap time last time around was just about 2 seconds a lap. I mean, coming up to the start of the last lap, if
going to get one opportunity, I think, to get. Oh, and a mistake there from Oliveira. So he'll get that opportunity going for Hanger Straight, I'm sure. It's close.
I reckon Preston, if he can get a good run out of here up into Maggots and Beckett, if he's got an opportunity there, he's got to go for it.
We'll see how much ERS Oliveira has held on to. He needs good 40-50% because he basically needs to hold that button down completely.
Oh, he's going to make Preston go the long way around. Preston's clear before they even get to the corner.
Yeah, nicely done. Look at that one, like I said, that one bit of impatience stopped him from winning this race.
We might still be on with for a fight here for the win, Alex. Preston's last lap was 3 seconds quicker than Kolak's, and he's right onto the back of him. Well, coming over the last few corners.
Ready to eat my words coming out of this final corner, I tell you.
Oh, he's got one corner left. Where's he gonna? He's gonna go around the outside.
Oh dear, that was too good. God damn, I hate being. I hate doing it, but I've done it. I've hit my word. Oh, fantastic. So, awesome job, Riley. Well done. Oh, I just didn't think you had it, even with your bit of impatience.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, every single week something happens and we just think it's not possible, and these guys come out here and they show us to be different, and well, kudos to him and Marin Kolak. We slated them a little bit for that move earlier on where Kolak led Preston through, but I mean, Preston timed that to absolute perfection and made that sticker on the outside of the last corner on the last lap to take that win. Nicely done.
Just wanted to make it look good, didn't he? That was all it was. Jeez, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure somebody must have told him what we said about them on the broadcast, and he
Exactly.
went out there and said, "I'll show you."
Yeah. Not a Simpson, I'll tell you.
This will shut them up.
Having a look at what last little battle to come across the line. That's between Merkelets and Andre there. I think Andre's going to hold on to this one, no problem. That's it. Got a few more drivers to come across the line. Mark Warmington stays on the lead lap. Alright, that's us done and dusted. Take us through the results, please, Conrad.
Well, then we saw Mr. Riley Preston with a brilliant comeback drive after a very late pit stop, taking the win there, coming out of the last corner. Very close behind him, half a second behind him was Marin Kolak in second place, Diego Oliveira in third place. Fabrizio Gobbi managed to keep hold of fourth place. Just behind him was Slavia Yatsenko in fifth. Massimiliano Ficar in sixth place with Jorge Marquez in seventh. Justin Hop managed to drive his way back from 16th up into 8th, with Manuel Domingo in ninth place. Frans Kern up one place from where he started in 10th. Niklas Rasmussen in 11th. Andre Eisenlohr in 12th place. Kirill Merkulets in 13th. Newcomer, as we mentioned earlier, is Michal Latsiov in 14th place, Mark Wong in 15th, and Daniel Vensing, only retiree from the race, in 16th.
Now, Silverstone delivers another great race. Been a great season, actually. 3 more rounds to go. We've got Spa, Zandvoort, and Montreal. It's going to be exciting to see how that fares. Just try to see if I can get some points from this race to see how that will have helped Diego. Quick look, just to see if we can stick around for that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how we'll all be very familiar with how the car drives and looks around the likes of Spa-Francorchamps and Montreal. But I mean, Zandvoort, it's not a track that modern F1 goes to these days, so it'll be interesting to see how the cars get on around there. Especially with overtaking. Zandvoort doesn't have any particularly long straight apart from there's a start-finish straight. You've got that back straight, but that's lots of like twisty S's kind of thing. Yeah, I'm trying to get hold of the points.
Yeah, refreshing as well. Can't quite do that. Bear with us, see if we can get this.
I think that was a very entertaining afternoon of motor racing. First and foremost, what we saw on television earlier today with the Spanish Grand Prix, and then this again. I think you and I were both a little bit spent during this broadcast.
I just need to get me blooming voice back. I think that's all it is. These throat infections that have been going around seem to be catching everybody at the moment. I know Andrew's been off for a while, and a few other people. Will the other day trying to do the World Championship while losing his voice.
Yeah, so I would have thought it's something that people like me would be suffering with little kids in the house running around, picking up all sorts of bugs from school. Luckily, it's something I've been happy with and lucky enough to escape with so far. Touch wood. I've jinxed it now. I'm going to be missing next week.
Right, one last refresh. Let's see if we can get these points. Coming up. No, it's not. Oh well. Not going to update the championship standings. We've got no one coming in for an interview as well. We'll of course bring you the up-to-date points for next week's race at Spa. Just doing one final little refresh, just in case. No, but I tell you, it's going to be close with the 3 sort of World Championship drivers as well. That's took a bit of a boost on the strength of field, so could be interesting to see how that does. We'll let you know at the start of next week's broadcast. Don't forget to stick around here on Apex Racing TV. We have got the Kia Club Series up later on, so Paul Smith, Adam Barth, and Smooly Kumo in the box for that one. And yeah, that series is pretty much getting to the finale as well. Very, very close championship. If you love a bit of bumping and bashing, some hard, close touring car action, then tune into that later on tonight. But yeah, for myself and Conrad, well, it's been another great race here at Silverstone. And yeah, talk about leaving it late. Will went crazy with Gregor and Martin. Well, Riley just went and beat that last corner of the last lap. Amazing. See you all next week for Spa.